But that.
About the private Amazon trucks.
I mean, I like that because honestly, the little rinky-dink courier services that they farm everything out to suck.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, if it's not like UPS sucks a lot too, but if it's not like UPS or FedEx or DHL or something, these little courier services are terrible. Like I've had packages go missing, and and especially like once they're handed off to those little courier services, nothing's tracked anymore. So from the instant they hand it off, it's in God's hands. So and I've lost packages because of that before. So I mean, I'm glad that they're not doing that anymore.
Right.
But I just feel like maybe we could give people Sunday off. I don't know. That's normal around here not to have stuff delivered on Sundays. So
yeah, it's
normal here too.
Amazon workers are overworked. That's what I'm trying to say.
Well, we know that.
I know we know that, but
it
just you know, I could wait till tomorrow morning for this package. I'd be fine.
An Amazon delivery driver probably has a 2-liter that's half full of pee.
Yeah,
and I mean that's probably not a joke. Wrong. Probably not a joke.
It's pretty gross.
Yeah.
Anyway,
true. That
not the. Well, I mean the pee thing's gross too, but the fact that they're forced to be in that position is the gross part.
Like the position where you have to pee into a 2-liter, just like the angle.
Yeah, you don't want to use an aluminum can because you don't want to nick anything. So,
no, not again,
not again.
That's right.
Once was enough.
Yeah,
once was enough. Twice was just to see what would happen.
Yeah, the second
3
time
times is really enough.
Really, it's really your fault.
Yeah.
You
know, don't poke the bear twice.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you name the can the bear?
Cute little nickname. makes it easier to urinate in it if it has a cute name.
What?
Who? Huh?
Hello and welcome to episode 792 of the Player One podcast for Tuesday, January 11th, 2022. I'm your host, Chris Johnston, and with me, as always, from Canada is Mr. Greg Seward.
Hello.
How's it going there, sir?
Stuff keeps breaking.
Uh-oh, what broke?
What this week?
My car wasn't working this week.
Uh-oh.
So
what happened?
Dead battery. I just needed to replace the battery, but it just
not as bad.
It feels like just one thing after another.
That
right.
Does that technically count as unplugging it and plugging it back in?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know much about cars.
You don't say.
I don't. I know which hole you put the gas in.
Up until very recently, there was no plugging it back in or plugging it in at all, right?
I don't know. You guys are from Chicago. Do people not use block heaters there or anything? You don't know.
No.
Never mind. You don't even know what I'm asking you.
It's a block heater.
No. Yeah, what's that? What is it?
Something that keeps the engine block warm.
Oh.
You actually plugging your car into electricity, even before electric cars were a thing here, is normal here. Because you would plug the block heater in so that your car didn't freeze up overnight.
Okay.
I see.
And joining me from the great state of Washington, Mr. Phil Theobald.
That's me.
How's it going?
I mean, fine.
Yeah.
I guess.
Okay.
Bob Saget died.
Yes.
We just found that out like half an hour ago.
Half an hour ago. You say everything's going fine.
Yeah. So, I mean, all these Betty White.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which is very sad. But I mean, she was 99 years old. Like, it's not like it was a tragically.
I mean, we knew it was coming, but it was
death.
The ironic tragedy of that is that it was 3 weeks before her big 100.
The ironic part of that whole thing is that People Magazine has her on the cover right now talking about how she turned 100.
How she just turned 100,
yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Magazine lead times.
Don't
get you. I'll get you every time.
That was like when we had the Twin Towers on the cover of EGM. It's a month after 9/11 happened.
Did we? We didn't have it on a cover.
Yes, we did.
For what?
It was a Metal Gear Solid 2 cover, and they were in the background.
Yeah.
And then further to that, we had a column we ran in the news section about, is it really dangerous to play your Game Boy when the plane is taking off or landing?
Oh, right.
Which was accompanied by an illustration, which a month earlier was pretty funny.
Oh, no.
But it was an illustration of a kid playing a Game Boy in a plane, and out the window you could see the engine on fire.
At least you didn't see it crashing into a building.
Oh my God.
Right.
At least that wasn't the case.
I'm actually tearing up a little bit, but it was very unfortunate timing for those two things.
It was bad timing.
What was the Dreamcast game that they ended up not releasing?
Prop Arena.
Prop Arena.
Prop Arena.
We had review copies of that.
We did. We did a preview.
Yeah,
it's probably in my storage unit, but I still have that review ROM.
Yeah.
I hung on to it.
Never came out.
It was a pretty
it got leaked though at some point. Someone leaked the ROM.
It exists out there, so
right.
Sure.
Yeah.
But there was a LucasArts had an ad for whatever Star Wars GameCube game was out around that time. One of the Rogue Squadrons or whatever.
It's probably Rogue Squadron 2.
The
launch game for GameCube.
Yes, yeah. I get the names of all those Rogue Squadron games mixed up.
Yeah.
But there was an ad. Do you remember back around GameCube launch, there was a series of ads that had like a transparent cube.
Yep.
There was something inside the cube.
Absolutely.
That represented
exactly what you're talking about.
Games. So the Rogue Squadron 2 version of that ad had a TIE fighter crashed inside the cube, and I think it was like purple smoke coming out of it or something. And from what I understand, that particular ad only ran in an issue of Game Now before Lucas pulled it.
Really?
Yeah, well, because they, at that time, you didn't want to have imagery of crashed flying vehicles.
Yeah,
because of obvious circumstances. So, but that was crazy.
I mean, didn't mean to get heavy here, but it just, when you said that whole magazine lead time, it just reminded me of that, because I just remembered getting the issues and thinking like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Poorly timed.
Well, we had talking about Game Now, shortly after that, we had the, was it the Lord of the Rings game? The Two Towers that EA put out? We had I don't know if it was a preview or a review of it, but we had the call out for the game on the cover, and somehow the title on the cover ended up being The Lord of the Rings, The Twin Towers. And nobody caught it. No, I don't know who wrote the cover copy. It was certainly not me. Oh, Greg's got the issue.
They're right there.
He's got the issue. There it is. Slightly obscured by Snake's head.
Yeah. And the word monthly.
But there they are. No, I was just talking about, Greg, how Game Now accidentally called the Lord of the Rings the Two Towers, the Twin Towers on the cover.
You did not.
Well, I didn't.
No, but I mean, you guys.
Yes, whoever was writing the cover copy, for some reason must have had that on his mind. Wrote.
Oh, God.
And this was like a month or two after the fact. And he just typed the Twin Towers on the cover copy, and no one noticed it, apparently.
People wonder how things like that, and how like Capcom will occasionally misspell a game title on the spine or whatever. Oh, hey, there it is. You're showing.
There's the flaming airplane wing with the kid enjoying his Game Boy.
Yeah,
there you go.
Good times.
But like typos like that.
Happy September, everyone.
Mistakes like that can happen in plain sight because you don't expect there to be an error there. So,
not to mention, like you've read and reread that thing a million times, and some of those errors are just you're so attuned to them that you don't see them anymore.
That's
exactly.
All right, should we talk about?
Which is why, unless you're a game fan, you use lorem ipsum for placeholder text,
as opposed to some racist comedy bit that you wrote.
Rant.
Yeah.
Oh boy, boy, remember that?
Oh, that was in Industrial Sabotage.
Yes, right.
Oh yeah, that's right.
See.
That's how they tried to sell that after the
So
fact,
funny
right?
They did that.
Someone from
That
EGM
is-
flew out to California, snuck into the Die Hard Game Fan office, and replaced all the
Typed in,
text of a random sports article with a bunch of racist.
I know. That's not
Worth
happening.
it. Worth it.
Worth it.
And that man was Phil Theobald.
It was absolutely not. That was Ed Semrad on special assignment.
All right.
Now that can't be true either, because that would imply that Ed Semrad did any work.
Oh man, we're just there's a lot going on in this intro this week.
Just
Yikes. There's a lot.
oh, CJ, you and I both wrote articles for Ed.
You're right.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right.
Hey guys, I just got back from
Japan.
TGS.
Here's the video I took. Take a bunch of screen grabs out.
Remember the one article? He didn't even have video. It was just like, here's a bunch of flyers I picked up. Have fun writing. It was just like, I wish we read Japanese. Thanks, Ed.
I know. Boy. And he was at those shows.
He was at the show.
You write them?
Yeah. Weren't you sitting
What
on
you
a plane for
saw?
like 10 hours? You couldn't have written a little something down during that time?
No.
Nope.
Apparently not.
Nope.
All right. Let's talk about some video game news.
Oh, okay.
So Sony has announced
They make
that,
the PlayStation.
that's right. That
I mean, they do
The
other stuff. They
Nintendo
do, like,
PlayStation.
their
No,
next
no,
generation
this is the Sony play. This was
Okay.
after that because that deal
computer
fell through.
entertainment system.
They also make they make like TVs and stuff too.
It's
Like
true.
if you go to like a Best Buy or
Like
something.
Panasonic TVs.
Well, they're like Panasonic TVs, but it's just like a different company's making them.
CJ shaking his head.
But like, yeah, next time you're at like an electronics store, like when you're at the Monkey Wards or Sears or something, check out some of the names of the TVs, and you'll probably see.
Just say Monkey
Sony.
Wards.
when you're down at Electric Avenue.
Yeah, yeah, Electric Avenue. I don't. Maybe they don't have those in Canada, but Electric Avenue is the Monkey Wards electronics department.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. So at the Consumer Electronics Show, which was still
CES.
held,
Those in the
CES, that's
know.
the one.
Yep.
Sony had a little presentation where they announced the official name of their next gen VR system. It is called PlayStation VR 2,
Whoa,
PSVR 2.
where did they come up with these?
I don't know.
It's
Man,
somewhere
who are
someone at
the
Microsoft is still
wizards?
pissed that Sony owns the, just conventional
Naming things
numbering.
1, 2, and stuff.
Yeah.
So PSVR 2 is for PS5,
Correct.
and presumably PS6 will have the PSVR 3.
Unannounced at this time.
Okay, this is gonna get confusing real quick though. They should just skip ahead. They should just
should.
call this PSVR 5 or
Why not?
PS5 VR.
Oh, even better.
I don't
Even
know.
better. But anyway, yes, so they have officially given it a name, and they showed off a new game called Horizon Call of the Mountain, and that is being co-developed by Guerrilla Games and Firesprite, which is a studio that Sony just announced they had purchased not too long ago. And coming, I don't know, some date in the future.
We don't have a date. We don't have a
We don't have a-
price.
Don't have a date, don't have a price, but we do know that it's going to be higher fidelity than the original PSVR. In fact, I think it's like 4K.
So they
said
were
like a
really
4K
just hoping this
OLED.
announcement would do well based on the specs appeal.
Yeah, 2000 by 20 2000 by 2040 per eye.
This is already
Specs appeal.
my least favorite episode ever.
CJ working hard to ignore that. Greg
That's right.
showing his. Yeah, I understand.
Also, they got force feedback in the headset, which is interesting. A little
Huh.
vibration on the
It's
headset.
interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know if this. I don't know if that's sounds like a good idea. I don't know if I want my head buzzing while I'm playing a game.
Well, only when someone's firing a gun at you, I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, I suck at games, so
Doesn't sound better.
No, it does.
Yeah.
Instead of using the PlayStation camera, this has inside-out tracking, so you'll have 4 cameras for
That's great.
headset
Yeah,
and
that is
control
fantastic.
tracking. So it also does eye tracking as well on the inside, so it can tell where you're looking.
Man,
Oh, so and the new controllers are called the PlayStation VR 2 Sense controllers.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm excited.
And it's apparently just a one cable hookup.
one cable hookup,
Just boom, boom. Plug it in.
which is
plug it
exciting.
in.
Although when you have the Oculus Quest 2 with no cables,
Yeah, well. Tell you what, does the Oculus Quest 2 have an
Oculus.
Astrobot game on it?
No, it does not.
Yeah, you know what? I'll
There you go.
take the cable.
Yep.
There you go. Take the cable.
Agreed.
Yeah. It sounds good though. I'm pretty excited about it.
I am super hyped for this.
I have not dipped my toe into PlayStation VR yet, so maybe I will with this one. I probably will.
And I'm assuming it'll all be backwards compatible again.
I
I
would
would
imagine.
assume.
I would imagine.
But because the first one used the camera and this does not, does that mean make a difference with compatibility?
I would think, I mean, I don't know 100%, but I would think it doesn't, because it would, I mean, you're still translating the same movement, right?
Right.
So, I mean, it's basically what the input is to result in the same movement, that's given to the program. So I would say that it probably still will be okay.
Well, I'd hope that Sony has,
if anything, it should be better, but
made some kind of API or some kind of translation layer that will make that easy. That would be,
I would imagine they will.
Nice. Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah,
they usually know what they're doing.
I'm totally in on this. My gosh.
Yeah,
I
excited.
do love me some VR, and if it's going to be easier to hook up and look nicer.
One cable and no camera, and that means something better than the Move controllers. Not that they're terrible, but they're not 100% reliable. So I'm down for all that.
Absolutely.
Okay. So E3 2022 is not going to be an in-person event.
To be fair, for me, it hasn't been an in-person event for like 15 years.
I know.
It's better that way, right?
I like it better.
Yeah,
you know what? You know what? No, that's not true. I loved going to E3 back in the year, like 20 years ago.
Oh, same.
Yeah. Would you love
when I
going
was
to E3
working
now?
I didn't like going as a developer.
Yeah.
I didn't enjoy it then. But
I'm one of those weird people that even though I was working the show, I still enjoyed going.
You mean as a developer or
as a developer? Yeah, as a developer.
See, the thing was, when I went as a developer, I wasn't working the show. It was just we happened to be a third-party developer for a Take-Two product. It was actually being published under the Gold Star label. Does anyone remember that?
No.
And the game was being shown behind closed doors. So I literally had nothing to do. So I was on the show floor and looking at stuff, but having been used to, getting
to the front of the lines and
to the front of the lines.
Is this what this is about?
Yeah, absolutely. I really enjoyed working the show as a journalist.
Yep.
I did as well. Yeah.
Because there was a lot of cool stuff to see, but also all the interviews you're doing and talking to the different PR folks, and it was a lot of work, but I really liked doing it.
But once you had to live like a normie, all of a sudden you realize.
I'll be honest though. When the first couple years I went on my own dime, and I played a lot of stuff because we were running the website. When I started going as part of EGM, I barely played anything. I usually learned about what the coolest things at the show were after we came back and we started proofing our E3 issues. Because I was in so many meetings. So
it's true.
There's that.
Come down from your ivory tower once in a while, Greg.
I did 20 years ago.
I still enjoy E3. I like having all the big news kind of localized to that 1 week
me too.
span. Made it easier to follow everything. So
it's the only thing is that the existence of like Nintendo Direct and sort of everything that's like Nintendo Direct for the other companies has kind of diluted all that, right? Like it used to be that the whole year's news kind of was this one big shotgun blast in like May, where everybody had their event, and like it was also fun when they were live because you had the crowd, and that actually for better or worse, I always thought it was better to hear the crowd as well. and that's kind of, and then every now and then you'd have things from like TGS or something as well, or ECTS or whatever. But like now we have this sort of constant feed of news and presentations, video presentations and stuff, that it's definitely taken away from the spectacle of E3, I think. And also just the way the show has changed over the years when it was still an in-person event. The excitement level definitely gone down, because we always used to joke when we were working in the magazines with each other how we were getting ready, because where we weren't on the West Coast, we'd have to fly out, obviously, about how, when we got there, we already knew 90% of what we were going to see anyway, because of course, because of magazine lead times, if a company wanted their game in our E3 issue, we needed to see it a month beforehand, give or take. So, but now it feels like that's sort of the norm, going to E3, knowing a lot of what's about to happen. So it's not quite the same.
True.
But
not quite the same, no.
It's still exciting.
I still like it. All right, so let's see. Let's do this Mario Kart 9 speculation story. So, okay, so analyst Dr. Sirkin Toto said that Mario Kart 9 is now in active development within Nintendo, and apparently there's going to be a quote new twist.
NFTs.
It's gonna be Nintendo's entry into
only one person in the world is allowed to own Mario in the game.
The best response to that I saw was some person on Twitter who just said, "If you die in the game, you die in real life."
I think I'm going to pick that game up a month later then. Just to make sure.
Yeah,
but then all the best players would be the only ones playing still.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
That's too funny.
All right. So, but he thinks that we will see Mario Kart in 2022. So, if they make a sequel if they make Mario Kart 9, what do you want to see? Like, what is your most wanted feature out of a new Mario Kart?
I've been saying for years that they should just turn it into Smash Kart.
Yeah.
I mean, they were going that way, I felt.
In Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, they were going that way.
Yeah, with especially with the DLC, like, when they started to really introduce like the F-Zero tracks Crossing. And Link and Hyrule and Animal Crossing and all that stuff. Like, it was really feeling like kind of what Sega was doing with their Sonic racing games, right? Where it's like, especially Sonic and Sega All-Stars Transformed, were just like a love letter to a lot of their very beloved franchises. You had a lot of the music and a lot of the levels were based on like old arcade games and stuff. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was really going that way, which is why it was so sad that they finally stopped doing DLC for that thing.
Well, they only did the two,
but understandable
2 drops.
Yeah. And then seeing what they've been doing with Smash Brothers over the years, all I can think of is that would be great in Mario Kart form.
I'd love to see an expanded tournament mode. Like, they already do online tournaments, which are done well, I think, in there, but I'd love to see an expansion on that. And would be cool to see a story mode or some kind of thing in there. But definitely more characters, more Nintendo IP. It'd even be fun if they branched out and like Smash Brothers had, IP from other companies appear.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Fun.
I'm just happy. I'm sure it'll be a great game. There hasn't really been a bad Mario Kart ever. So I'm just excited that we're going to finally get it. It's been a long time.
Yeah. Well, I think the thing they have to live up to is Mario Kart 8 has been so good, right? And it has continued selling. It's over 30 million units on Switch. So it just makes me think of that Polygon chart back when Mario Kart 8 came out on the Wii U. I don't know if you remember the famous chart.
Stupid.
That this would not sell. It would be the worst selling Mario Kart in this.
Is that what that? I remember the stupid chart.
Yeah.
But was the point of the chart was that we don't think this game is going to sell?
the point of the chart was like in a story. It was in a story about how Mario Kart 8 was going to be the worst selling of the series. And the graph was like Mario Kart units since the Super Nintendo or some shit like that.
Good job, Polygon.
And then
Very,
yeah.
very
So
forward
it
thinking.
didn't end up going Polygon's way on that. But
Shocking.
yeah. It still sells so well to this day. It was even a pack in around the holidays with the Switch hardware and some retailers. So all right, let's talk about Arcade 1-Up because they announced that they're doing a Pro Series starting with a full-sized Killer Instinct machine.
At least they're not starting with the good game.
Work the bugs out before they get to the good stuff. Full height.
That's pretty cool.
Height.
That's pretty cool. I like where they've gone. Like I only own one of those myself. But I like where they've gone, where they kind of went from just sort of getting, arcade machines in some form into the home. And then even before this, they started going to the point where they're starting to replicate the actual shape of the old arcade machines. Like if you look at I think it's Centipede, and I think Tempest is another one where they're basically modeling the look from the original arcade machine, which is very cool.
They did a Burger Time machine.
Yes.
Because that has a very distinctive, because the side of the cabinet is shaped kind of like Peter Pepper's, like you get the roundness of a chef hat and stuff. So.
I think that might have been the first time they did that.
I think it might be, yeah.
And so this feels like the next logical step for sure. Like I know the upcoming Ridge Racer machine has the I forget what you call that, but it's like the little, I don't know if it's like a cardboard insert or something that's in a stand on top of the machine.
Really?
Like if you look at it, it's a little different again. So super happy about all that. But I don't know how many more of those I would even consider buying. Even the old smaller arcade machine, like that Ridge Racer, I would love to have that because as much as I didn't like the PlayStation Ridge Racer, I adored Ridge Racer in the arcade. There was an arcade near us that had Daytona and Ridge Racer at the same time, and that's where I spent all my money on. But it's like $1,000.
You have the Outrun cabinet?
I do.
Is that the one you have? Yeah.
Yeah, I have the sit down Outrun, and and I love it.
Right.
But like now, like that Ridge Racer one, I was looking at maybe making that my second machine. And in Canada, once you got it to your door, you're talking like $1,000. It's too much. Well, and the amount of games they're putting in them are going down. It feels.
Well, that's the thing too, because it's like the price of those machines has been very steadily creeping upwards.
Yes,
and you can chalk some of it up to the licenses because Turtles and Simpsons and that stuff.
Sure.
But even just the because what are they, 3/4 scale? The current ones? Yeah. Yep. I mean, those are getting upwards of like $600-700 US. And then now it's like, have they announced a price for the full size?
I don't think so. No,
I didn't see one. Right now, you can just like sign up to be notified when you can pre-order. But I mean, again, they're doing some cool stuff, and I mean, they started doing driving games, and I think they're doing a T2 cabinet, so a shoot like a gun, light gun shooter as well, and so I mean, that's not technically light gun, I guess, but still, very cool, like really cool stuff. And if you had the space and the money, you could build a nice little sort of personal arcade, and they've got a ton of variety now. So
but a lot of great stuff.
But it's expensive.
It's true.
Are they using better quality parts for the buttons and joysticks in the Pro cabinet?
Yes. I don't know. Actually, you know what? I don't know about those two things, but I know when you read the description, it talks about. I think they talk about a better screen.
Okay.
They talk about better speakers.
Okay.
The two main things. I didn't read whether there's anything about the joysticks.
Because I've seen some of the the hardcore arcade nuts.
Upgraded joysticks.
Oh, there you
go. For the Pro Series,
because I know that's something that gets replaced a lot from like the people who are like really into stuff.
It's gonna have faux chrome trim around the cabinet edges.
Faux chrome.
Yeah, light up coin slots for 1 and 2 players start.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yep.
And the Killer Instinct machine has Killer Instinct 2, Battletoads Arcade, and then Battletoads 8-bit and 16-bit as well.
Wow.
So I mean, 5 games.
Yeah.
Only 3 of
Yeah.
which are arcade games, but
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Battletoads arcade game was always kind of a rare
Mhm.
game.
Yep.
You know, you didn't see that
Yeah, that's
cabinet
true.
out in the wild or anything much.
Very
I just
true.
I've never liked
Uh-huh.
Killer Instinct.
No, I've never liked Killer Instinct, or
Me neither.
honestly, the Battletoads arcade game is not great either.
Really?
So,
No.
it's pretty.
I don't
It's
know
on
if I've
Rare
ever
Replay.
played it.
It's on
On
Rare
Rare
Replay.
That's
Oh,
how
is it
I've
really?
played it. Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I should probably load that up then. I do
And
have...
just to set the tone,
Uh-huh.
there's a developer interview where they admit
Uh-oh.
to balance the thing, when you get to the final boss, for the
Yeah.
first, I don't know how long or how many hits,
Oh,
30
you're not
seconds
doing
or a
any
minute.
damage to it.
Yeah.
It just
You're
the
not
final
doing any
boss is
damage.
invincible for
Yep.
a minute or so.
You don't
Yeah.
know that when you're playing it.
Of
but
course, right.
Yeah.
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 Get a couple more tokens out of the kids.
Back in the day when game designers were pure.
Right.
Do this
It
kind
was
of
about
nickel
the
and
games
diming.
and not the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just so you know, like,
A dark
going in
pattern if I've
knowing
ever
that
heard one.
that's the proper tone for playing that game.
Yeah. Okay. So it's hateful.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But it's pretty. It looks
Yeah.
nice.
Oh, absolutely. Back in the
I mean,
day, it was
that's-
like, wow, this looks like a real Battletoads
Yeah.
game that
No,
I
it's
could get
great.
into. Yeah. Alrighty, let's get into what you've been playing. Phil,
Oh
why
boy.
don't you kick us off?
Oh boy.
Oh, here we go, fellas. Well, I haven't been playing too much this week. The main thing is I think I threatened to do this a week or two ago. But I've been wanting to not restart, but dive back into Judgment for PS5, which is a game I picked up and played the first few hours of and loved it. You know, it's the Yakuza spin-off series.
Sure.
And then I got sidetracked by something else, so now I'm diving back in. And so I've put a few more hours into that, and I'm loving it. It's such a great game. I really enjoy it, and I'm hopefully can get through it and move on to Lost Judgment. But I finished the first chapter of the game, which took about 6.5 hours.
Wow.
So the chapters are pretty long. I have no idea how many chapters are in the game, but
so
how
does
many?
that play like? See, I can ask this because I've actually been
Yeah.
playing Yakuza Kiwami, so I know what these games play like a little bit better now.
Yeah.
Does it play like a Yakuza game? Like, is
Yes.
you're running around, like you still have sort of random fights in the street and that sort of thing, and,
Very much. Yeah.
and you can get very sidetracked with all the little things you can do.
Yeah. Well, now that, and I just looked up, it's 12 chapters.
You got a long road.
Chapter 1 took 6.5 hours. Hopefully I can. I've never finished a Yakuza game, so
I can see why now that I'm playing one myself, because I'm only halfway through that one, and it's so easy to get distracted. Not in a bad way, but it's just so easy to get distracted.
Because there's tons to do, and you know what? During that first chapter, there's not a whole lot of kind of side stuff. It's pretty straightforward. You're running around town, talking to people, gathering clues, trying to solve a case. And now that I've gotten in chapter 2, all of a sudden it's like, oh, now here are different people who will give you side quests, and there's all these little side missions you can do, and like, oh, now you met a guy who has introduced you to the world of drone racing.
Nice.
And there's a couple missions in the first chapter where you have a drone, and you have just been using it to kind of spy on people and stuff like that. But
like you do.
Now there's a whole racing tournament that you can enter, and you can find parts scattered around town to craft upgrades so you can improve the motor and improve the I guess they would be rotors on a drone, not propellers.
Okay.
But yeah, you can start customizing parts for your thing. There's arcades. You can go into the Club Segas around town and play actual old Sega arcade games and UFO catchers and stuff like that. And I posted it on Twitter how excited I was at the towards the very beginning of chapter 2. you suddenly just get an Outrun machine for your office, so you can just play Outrun whenever you want for free without having to.
That's the
spend
best
your
way to play Outrun.
hard-earned yen. Yeah, it's just like I got the little arcade 1-up cabinet. But
by the way, listener Frankie in the chat says, "Don't
Yeah?
worry, the first couple chapters are way longer than the rest."
oh, okay,
Nice.
so yeah, but even if it ends up only being like 60 hours or something, it's like that's way.
How
way-
many games over 60 hours have you finished, Phil?
Lately,
I was gonna say, I bet there's a precipitous drop right around age 30.
yeah. I mean, if we're talking like high school, college age,
Sure.
yeah, sure. Oh, you know what? I just looked up on how to beat. How long to beat? How to beat is a different site.
Don't Google that.
That yeah. But howlongtobeat.com has for the main, they say main story 27 hours.
Oh, that's not bad.
Main story plus extras is we're looking at about 44 and a half.
Okay.
Very precise. And completionist, which I am not, looking at 99 hours. Yeah, I will not be 100%ing Judgment. But you know what? I bet I could get through the main story.
Yeah.
So I know there's also, just because you can purchase upgrades for it. Yeah, you earn points as you beat up dudes, which you spend to upgrade your character. And there is a dating sim in there that I have not unlocked yet. Okay. You can get power-ups for, like, when you text your girlfriend, she's happier, stuff like that. So
okay.
So there are going to be a lot of side quest stuff, but yeah, I'm having a blast with it. It's a fun game, and yeah, I mean, Sega has said that the Judgment series is now sort of taking over as the actiony Yakuza games, now that Yakuza is going to be more like the RPG, like a dragon type gameplay. So
right.
Which I still need to play that too. I've heard nothing but good things about that.
I watched one of our listeners, Scoop Joey, stream that last year, and it's fantastic. It just looks so good.
I really want to play that too. So
yeah.
But yeah, it's a good time, and I'm having fun with it. So
nice.
Yeah, that's really been it for me.
Alrighty, well, I'm stuck in this. Let me ask you if this has ever happened to you. You have time to play something.
You're loading up howtobeat.com. You're bored.
You have
the
some
wife
time
and
to play
daughter
something.
of going to visit some of the in-laws, and you're home alone.
You grab your Switch, or you
grab that Switch,
PC, and you're in the mood to play something. You don't know what.
Yep. Got to play with something.
But you just don't have any strong opinions about what you're going to play.
Yeah.
Right?
Well.
CJ, how big's your backlog?
You don't even want to know. It's ridiculous.
And you don't need a strong opinion. Just grab something off the shelf and play.
No, it never works. Never works.
CJ's backlogs are so big that they are constantly clogging his toilet.
True.
Ew. Need the plunger and the spatula?
Spatula?
Well, in case you got to break it up.
Yikes.
See, Phil appreciated that joke.
I appreciate may not be the right word.
When I do it, it's weird.
Yeah.
You guys are allowed to make poop jokes all day and night, and I'm supposed to just laugh at them.
It's a little gross.
A little gross. No, but I've been playing Sea of Thieves, obviously. Still playing that.
Good.
They had an event recently where you had to do various tasks while drunk in the game, because you can drink grog
in the game.
Get drunk.
Okay.
And weave around.
Okay.
So they had you had to kill X number of skeletons, X number of enemies, shoot at boats while drunk. And that was pretty fun. It was a lot more difficult than you'd think to actually because on each ship they have like a barrel of grog, and you can fill up your cup or whatever, and you have to down 3 mugs of grog before you start doing the stuff. So even just getting off the boat at that point becomes a chore, and the audio gets like really low, like the ringing in your ears. They simulate it really well, like you're completely shit-faced. And if you jump in the water and you go too deep, sadly you'll sober up. So you have to like get off the boat and not dunk yourself in the water too much.
Is that how that works in real life?
In video game logic, that's how that works. Yeah.
It's a little advice, kids. If you get too drunk, just
Douse
swim as far deep into the ocean as you can possibly go.
I know. Yeah. But so I played a little of that, obviously.
Yeah.
Played some more Prop Night, which I'm still really enjoying. Played some Hypercharge Unboxed. So this is it's got tower defense trappings, but it's like small soldiers almost. It's like a toy action figure toy world. You can create your own action figure in this game. And the power-ups are things like like AA batteries that you have to power these towers with. And you build up defenses, and it's like toy castle walls and like the sort of Lego brick-esque armaments and things. It's a pretty interesting game. It's out on Switch and PC, so I'm playing a little of that as well. It's kind of fun little game. But otherwise, I've just been like bouncing between other things on Switch. Oh, Super Pac-Man came out on Arcade Archives, by the way.
Oh, that's true.
I saw that.
Your namesake.
My namesake.
Your hacker alias.
Yeah.
I think I saw that because you tweeted it, actually.
Yeah. It's not a very good game.
No, it's not.
Don't you use that as your online?
I mean, it is my online
because you
handle.
love it so much.
No,
I thought that was the thing. Was like you were a big fan of Super Pac-Man.
I mean, it's okay, but I like regular Pac-Man first.
You know what? This sounds like you backtracking. This is like you loving Super Pac-Man, and then realizing that
Pac-Man
that a lot of people don't
maybe
like
my
Super
online handle
Pac-Man.
should be Hydro Thunder.
I was going to say Miss Pac-Man, but sure.
But Miss Pac-Man, that's a good game. I
That
don't know if
is
you
a
ever
great
played
game.
that one.
That is good.
That's the best one.
Yeah.
The original Pac-Mans.
Super Pac-Man's a weird game.
It is a weird game.
A really weird game.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's bad, but it's weird.
It's different.
What is that?
But anyway.
Did you pick it up?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I did pick it up.
Okay.
And I'm probably going to buy that. There's a new Pac-Man collection coming out soon as well that it also has Super Pac-Man on it that I'll probably pick up that as well.
Well, good thing you bought this one then.
I know.
What's on the new?
The new one has like Pac-Man Championship Edition CE.
Okay.
And a couple of, it's just like a compilation of all.
It's got like everything,
Pac-Mans, but it doesn't have Miss Pac-Man.
Do they have Baby Pac-Man?
I don't think so. No,
that was the one that had the pinball machine.
Pinball, yeah.
Yeah.
I would love to see them just. I don't know if they've ever done it, but it'd be great to just have someone, digitally remake that.
I swear,
I'm sure it's probably been
was a version somewhere where someone did make like a video pinball game.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I just thought I remember playing it and not loving it, but I was always sucked at pinball anyway. Yeah. But I was always fascinated by that machine just because it was that hybrid video game pinball thing.
Yeah, because if I remember correctly, it was like because the backboard of the pinball machine had the screen.
Was like a traditional arcade game.
Yeah. Yeah. And but like it was very simplistic looking. Like the graphics were not nice. They were not terribly good graphics.
Mm-hmm.
But you'd control little baby Pac-Man running through the maze, and I think if you went down some tunnels at the bottom of the screen, then it like the pinball came out onto the pinball table, and then you suddenly playing pinball.
It had a very tiny screen on it.
Okay.
But like a very tiny and it was a vertically oriented screen. And then there's a very tiny pinball machine below. I mean, like I said, it I don't remember it being great, I
But it
remember
was
being
a
very
neat,
simple,
it was a
but it
neat
was
novelty.
interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting
sure.
novelty. I
Yeah.
remember seeing it maybe once or twice at Showbiz Pizza.
Oh
But
yeah.
I don't think I ever actually played it.
Yeah, I played it a couple times, but
Yeah,
it was other than the novelty of switching back and forth between the two games, it was not very good.
Yeah.
There was no Pac-Man Junior, or is it Junior Pac-Man? I forget.
The one that where you
That's the
could
one that
go
has
off
like
the edge of the screen.
Yeah, where it had the long mazes that you had to get scrolled and stuff, and you're reading like tricycles and things like that.
Yeah.
Well, Pac-Man got weird.
Pac-Man did get weird. I love Pac-Man Championship Edition. That's one of my favorites. And Championship Edition 2 is pretty good as well. It's a very different game, but still fun. So
it's hard. I remember because I love Championship Edition.
Yeah.
And then when Championship Edition 2 came out, I loved that. And then I remember trying to go back and play the first Championship Edition, and I suddenly couldn't because they both play
the rules.
Yeah, they play so differently.
Yeah.
And I was so used to, like, I knew the patterns to get the high scores in Championship Edition 2, and those techniques do not work on the first game, and I was just like, I don't remember what I have to do in the first game to do well. So
yeah.
But I wish those arcade archives were not $8 a pop. I would own a zillion more of them.
I always get it
in
in my head.
Go on sale.
Yeah, I always get that into my head too, where I like when I'm on one of the stores and one of them pops up, I just throw Arcade Archive like into the search.
Yeah,
and I'm always amazed by how much is there,
Mm-hmm.
and there a lot of it. I same as you, Phil. Like I would love to have, because I would play it every now and then.
Oh yeah,
but I don't want to spend like $10 on them.
But that's just it. Yeah, and it's like they do go on sale occasionally, but it's not like there's never like a big Arcade Archive sale where all of them. It's just like here are 3 of them, and they're $2 off, and you're just like, oh, those aren't the ones I wanted.
It's not like the Sega Ages titles, which when they go on sale, usually it's a group of them, like most.
Usually
them,
all of them.
All, right.
So.
Oh well, Greg.
Hi.
What you been playing?
I tell you what. I finally played Cuphead. I've been
kind of played that.
I've never played it
at all.
No, because
did you get past the tutorial?
Actually, I thought about that. I thought about Dean Takahashi as I was playing the tutorial. Yeah. Anyway, my son had got a bunch of Xbox credit for Christmas, so he informed me there on like Friday that he had bought Cuphead because I think it was on sale, and I never ever bought it just because, kind of along the lines of some older shooters that I never ever played in my life, because I'm not great at shooters. I like them, but it's like, well, I don't want to spend full price on a shooter when I feel like I'm probably going to suck at it. And that's kind of how I felt about Cuphead for so long. It's just like, I really want to play it, but I keep hearing how difficult it is, and I'm just so afraid that I'm going to be really bad at it that I didn't want to spend the money on it. So my son spent the money on it instead.
Nice.
And so I played one run and gun stage, and then I played like 4 or 5 boss stages maybe. And man, I know I'm talking about a game that's super old at this point, but I was still blown away. I knew what to expect, and I was blown away by the animation and the audio in that. Like, it's just unreal how it looked. It still looks amazing.
Yep.
Not nearly as well so far, not as difficult as I was expecting. And I think it's something that my son and I'm probably going to not play it anymore until my son says he wants to play multiplayer on it.
No, okay,
cool. But it's gorgeous. Like, I can't get over how much I like it. So hopefully,
and you got that DLC coming out in June.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hopefully it doesn't get too difficult further down the line. I've been basically going in and doing the bosses on beginner mode first, and then when I beat that, I'm going back in and fighting them again on regular, because you can't get the soul contracts or whatever they're called unless you beat the bosses
Oh,
on regular
okay.
difficulty. But, I find that playing at beginner is a nice introduction, so you kind of know what's about to happen. But I think I've been finding that really in beginner everything's a little bit slower, and there's always like one stage of the boss missing. Like
Okay.
the very first boss, which is the Root Club, I think they're called, where you fight like a giant potato and then you fight a giant carrot. On beginner, you fight a giant potato and a giant carrot. And then when you play regular, you fight those two, and they're a little bit faster and more difficult. But there's also a stage in the middle where I think it's an onion pops up out of the ground, and you fight him as well. You
Okay.
play on beginner, you don't see him, right?
Hmm.
So yeah, it's but it's good practice to go in and actually beat it. So yeah, really really digging it. But I think, like I say, my son and I are going to try to find time to play it together because I think it'll be so much more fun multiplayer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I might talk about that again some other time.
Nice.
The other thing, speaking of multiplayer, I finally started It Takes Two. It Takes Two.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Which won that Game of the Year award from the Video Game Awards
and Family Game of the Year.
Oh yes, that's right. So I'm playing it online with Scoop Jessica, actually, one of our listeners.
Nice.
Because I mentioned this a couple weeks ago, or maybe last week, because of the subject matter, I didn't think that it would necessarily be appropriate to play with one of my kids.
Right.
And I gotta say, I mean, we've played a few hours so far, probably into like the fourth area, maybe. Really impressed by the gameplay. Oh my god! Like the asynchronous multiplayer is nice. So basically, like the way, and CJ, I know you've talked about this before, but of course the way it works is that you're each playing as one character and you each get separate sort of abilities in each stage. The stage that we played most recently was we're in a tree and fighting wasps for the squirrel. The squirrels have recruited us to fight wasps and fight the queen wasp. And my character had this like thing that would shoot sap that would blow up, and then her character had like a matchstick bazooka that would blow up the sap. So it's like you had to work in tandem to fight the different bosses. Like we fought a beetle boss where I had to fill up these little buckets with sap, and then we had to try to lure him onto one of them so she could shoot them and cause an explosion. Stuff like that. But every level's like that, and it's a really neat co-op game. And what I really like about the online version of it is that, like in co-op, you've probably seen pictures of it. You're each on one half of the screen, and in the online mode, you still have split screen, which I've read people and heard people complaining about, but I actually really like because I like to be able to. I think in this game, it's important to be able to see what your partner's doing. And also sometimes it also means if there's a challenge that they're having trouble with, you can help them, right? You can sort of talk them through it. Because one of the things that we have been running into is, and maybe I'm spoiled by Nintendo games at this point, but like if one of us is having trouble with a challenge, the game can really come to a stop. And there doesn't seem to be a good way around some of those situations, but still, it's still a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. And like there's so much variety too. Like there's been shooting levels, and there was one of the last levels we did too as well. Like I was piloting a plane while she was the gunner, while we were being chased by these wasps and everything like that. So it's a lot of cool stuff like that. I will say though, like I said, the subject matter, which of course the story is about two parents that are getting divorced. I so far cannot stand either of them. I don't like them at all.
Yeah.
They're not likable.
Yeah.
I know that the whole point is that they're supposed they don't get along, but it feels very, I don't even know the way to describe how the dialogue feels. It feels very cliche. They go out of their way to pick at each other. And I feel like, I guess maybe it feels out of place because where you're controlling them and the entire game is based on teamwork right from the word go, right? Like it's not, something that later on you realize you really have to work together. Like literally from the second you start the game, it's about teamwork. But then it feels like it pulls you out of that mindset so that they can bicker. And I know that it's in service of the story, and maybe that gets a lot better later on, but it's very jarring because, okay, let's have a little fight. So have an argument about something, but then go back to this game where we have to do absolutely everything together. I get the message that they're trying to put across there, but so far anyway, I found the writing has fallen completely flat. The only parts that I feel have sort of any kind of weight to them are the scenes where their daughter is trying to interact with their parents because she's so concerned about the fact that they're divorcing. They feel much more real than the parents and their interactions, which is too bad. Although I don't know how you would write it better, but I don't like the way it's been written so far. It's just like, and Jessica and I were talking about that as we were playing, and kind of both feeling the same way. It's like I really don't like either of them. Like I don't like, she had mentioned how, I feel like they're the protagonists. We're supposed to be kind of rooting for them, and I'm not. I just don't like it when they open their mouths. Either of them. I just want them to shut up. And let's get on with let's get on with this great game that their terrible characters have been thrown into. So again, maybe it gets better where, maybe based on how long to beat, we're probably like a third of the way through the game. So maybe that changes a lot, but I got to say, yeah. And I've heard a lot of praise for that. The My Life in Gaming guys did their games we played this year video, and I was watching that, and they both played It Takes Two. And Corey, who's I don't believe Try's married, but Corey's married and has kids. And he said, like, the story had a big impact on him, being a father and a husband. And I'm curious to see if it changes a lot, because right now I don't see it. But anyway, yeah, great game though. The boss fights are fantastic too. They feel very old school, and again, it's all about cooperation. So yeah. Really liking that part of it, at least. Gonna keep going on it. That's it. That's all I've been playing.
Cool. All right. I guess that means it's time for tweets.
Twiddly diddly dee. What twiddly diddly dee. Tweet, 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 tweet.
All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Mr. Nelson, who says, I binged 6 episodes of P1 podcast in a row and realized
bad idea
that I need to know what Chicagoland icons would make up your version of Chicago's own Midway's Mortal Kombat Chicago Edition.
Well, wouldn't that just be the regular cast of Mortal Kombat?
I was gonna say, didn't you just describe Mortal Kombat?
they were all Chicago people, so there you go.
Absolutely.
I guess
I'll be over here.
You gotta have Son of Svengoolie in there.
Gotta have Svengoolie.
Sure. Bozo.
Gotta have Bozo the Clown. You gotta have Moo and Oink.
Yeah.
Moo and Oink. 2 different characters there. I'd say the Empire Carpets guy.
Definitely. So what about like the Ice Climbers, Solozzi and Edelson? Have them be like the Ice Climbers.
The twin characters there.
The twin characters.
Yeah. From the Solozzi and Edelson Chevrolet.
Where you always save more money.
At York and Roosevelt Road. Who else? I mean, do we want? And there. I guess there's sports people.
Yeah,
you can have in there.
Like Brandmeier.
Somebody Charlotte in the chat said Ditka.
Mike Ditka, coach of the Bears, former coach of the Bears.
Yeah, Bears.
Brandmeier from the radio.
Oh, Jonathan Brandmeier.
Yeah.
John Records Landecker.
There you go.
John Records Landecker
from the Magic Oldie Station, 104.3 WJMK,
which is no longer. Yeah, it's no longer.
Oh, does that station no longer exists?
No.
Oh, it's too bad. It's too bad.
Yeah, Man-Cow.
Get Man-Cow in there.
Man-Cow always makes you think of Dan Leahy. Just because he used to talk about them all the time.
Oh, really? Oh boy. Yeah.
Funny. Probably
Yeah.
like Tom Skilling. Throw him in there. The weatherman. He would have like a Sub-Zero style attack.
Trying to remember who some of the other reporters were, like the other local news people.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I'm blanking on all their names.
Bill
now.
Curtis.
Oh yeah, Bill Curtis.
Yeah.
Okay, are we done just rattling off names of Chicago?
Of the of the movie Anchorman fame.
Was he in Anchorman?
The narration. He's the narrator in.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
CJ's friend Kanye West.
Oh, there you go. Boom. Perfect. Doesn't get any more Chicago than that.
Yes, indeed.
Ronald McDonald could probably be in there.
That's true. Straight out of Hamburg University.
Straight out of Hamburg, are you?
Oh, Mudron in the chat. Good pal Bill Mudron mentions Max Headroom, who famously interrupted a television.
It has
broadcast.
to be that version.
It has to be
like attack has to include like a fly swatter and a butt.
Yeah, the cheap Halloween mask with like the corrugated aluminum background being waved around as the signal gets pirated.
Yeah,
boy, that scared the hell out of me when I was a kid.
Same here.
I didn't actually see it. For those who don't know,
we've been over this on the show.
We've talked about this before.
I'm sure.
We've talked about this so often.
Short version. Someone in Chicago pirated the local TV stations back in the 80s?
Late 80s.
Yeah, late 80s. Dressed, they were wearing a Max Headroom mask and just started babbling kind of nonsense through a voice filter. You couldn't even really understand what they were saying.
No.
You can find it on YouTube.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
It's on YouTube.
And I didn't see it live.
Wikipedia.
I just, seeing the news reports about it. And, it scared the hell out of me.
It was scary.
It was creepy.
Like, holy crap.
Knowing that you could just be watching a show and then suddenly some dude's bare ass getting whipped with a fly swatter while he's like yelling about Bob Swartzky or something.
Yeah.
So weird. Anyway.
All right.
What else we got?
That's enough for that one.
I think
let's do this one. Let's do this one from Worth Nintendo, who says, Happy New Year, guys.
Thank you.
Going to the gym a lot and have found...
I know the feeling.
And have found RPG battle themes.
So like a White Castle next to the gym or something?
Man, wish.
Can you imagine?
I think the closest White Castle's in Vegas. My gosh. I'd kill for a White Castle next to a gym out here.
I have found RPG battle themes make great workout tracks. Any good suggestions from lesser known games? And I already have Eternity from Blue Dragon.
Oh man.
Yeah, you already got that.
Well, that's the only one you need.
I mean, any Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy battle theme.
You know what you need is the intro music to Lunar.
I was actually going to suggest the battle theme from Lunar, but yes.
Take heed.
Yeah. You know, and you're just probably one or two steps away from anime opening songs.
Yeah, seriously.
Just
do that.
Good workout music.
Yeah.
So
let's get started. Ready, steady, go.
There you go.
It's from some Cowboy Bebop.
Sure.
The Netflix show?
You know, the song about the tank?
Yeah.
All right.
Hey, we Dana and I just rewatched. Did I talk about this?
You talked about this.
Rewatched.
Did you finish up?
We finished up. We haven't watched the movie yet, but we finished up the series. So.
Oh, the movie's great.
Yeah, well, it's a good show.
It is a good show. You're right. All right, let's do this one from Grain Geek John, who says, with the high sales of the Oculus Quest 2 over Christmas, along with the announcement of PSVR 2, is now the time for VR to become truly mainstream. Some of the VR games are truly magical and provide a very different experience to traditional gaming.
I mean, I've been a big proponent of VR for years now, and it feels like there must be something going on because, I mean, the Oculus seems like every other person I know has an Oculus all of a sudden.
Yeah.
So it was big at Christmas. And I don't know. I hope so.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to watch. I mean, not only with Oculus, which I think a lot of people are getting into because of the price, and the quality of software as well. But PSVR 2, since you need a PS5 for that, those are already supply constrained.
Right.
And then
That's fair.
you have the supply constraints going on with technology products in general. Whenever this thing comes out, are they going to be able to provide enough of them where people are happy about the launch? I guess we'll see.
Right. It'd be nice though.
It'd be nice.
VR is, I love it. I absolutely adore VR.
I am looking forward to catching up on the last how many years of VR gaming. Whenever
you've got
PSVR 2 comes out.
You've got a few games to play.
I know. I'm Astrobot. I'm looking forward to it.
That's the only
yeah.
game to play.
Moss. I'm looking forward to that. Space Channel 5 VR. Looking forward to that. Song and Smoke. Looking forward to that.
Play some
all these games that I haven't played.
Play some Moss.
Gotta play Moss.
Did I not say Moss?
I wasn't really listening.
I said Moss.
Oh, I hope you
anyway,
said Moss.
Yeah, Moss. Like you were saying.
Moss.
Yeah. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do this one. Kind of related. Hacker Alias Nar Warrior says, "How much do you guesstimate the PSVR 2 will cost?"
Oh boy. Well, what was the regular one when it came out?
Oh God, I have no idea.
I think I paid $2. I think I paid $2 for it, and that was on like a Black Friday sale. And it was also bundled with Moss and Astrobot.
Yeah. I believe it's $3.99 in the US when it launched on October 13th, 2016.
Okay.
I mean, the lower end Oculus Quest 2 is $400 Canadian, $299. So I would say it's going to be. I'd say it'd be comparable to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably.
Fair. Seems fair.
Between $299 and $399.
Yeah.
Yeah. $300 to $400. I'd pay that.
Well, also last time, didn't they pack in some software with it as well? They had at least that VR Worlds.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Initially,
I think initially it was just that VR Worlds demo.
Okay.
I thought.
Yeah, but now they also have a backlog of PSVR software.
Right.
I wonder
what,
if anything, they'll do.
That big sale where it seemed a bunch of people jumped in again when Phil bought it was Astrobot and Moss.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, I've downloaded a bunch of PSVR games on PS Plus, and then some of them have been on a really good discount. So I bought PSVR titles that I don't have a headset to play. So, yeah,
fantastic.
We'll see how all that goes. All right. Let's do this one from Hacker Alias Lero, who says, "If you could have a brand new sealed copy of any game or console in history, what would you choose? The one catch is you can never resell this item."
This is purely
because I would open it and play it anyway.
It's purely for like a collector's kind of thing. Just
if you could have a brand new something.
Yeah.
Sealed.
But you can't resell it?
Can't resell it.
No, this is not a profit gig.
No, this is a pure enjoyment gig.
This is to put on your shelf and admire.
Or open to play.
Or open to play, yeah.
Yeah. What do you think?
I might see my gut instinct says Mega Man 2. Just because that's probably my favorite game ever. So I would love to have a sealed copy of that I could just put in a nice display case and have on a shelf. But then it's also like, but like to have like a Mario 3 because that was such an event, or like the original Zelda or something.
Yeah.
I think I'm just gonna go with Mega Man 2.
Okay.
Why not? Let's do it.
See, I'm looking at it more from a standpoint of something that I don't have in my collection that I want to have.
Just so you could actually
that's
play
pretty
it.
Expensive. And
So
I the first thing I'm getting at for me is like Time Gallon, the Laser Active, which is like over $1,000 to buy now. Anyway.
Oh, there you go.
Just because that's the only way I'll ever get it.
And you would, and so that would be you would open it. And
I would play it. Oh God, yeah.
See, I don't know if there's any games that I do not own that I desperately want, like that are so kind of cost prohibitive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
I think mine might be Super Mario Brothers for the NES.
Okay.
So when my family got the NES, it was the version that came packed with Super Mario Brothers, but I don't believe it had a box of any kind. It was just the
right.
cartridge.
Yeah.
So that one I never had the box experience for, and I think I would want that one to just put on the shelf. Fine if I can't resell it, but that, Super Mario Brothers, I think I attribute that game as really like kickstarting my love of video games. Even though it wasn't the first video game I played, it was certainly the one that sort of dragged me into.
Probably, I mean, certainly, it kind of was what rekindled my enjoyment of video games. I mean, certainly I was playing them in the Atari days in the early arcade, but you had the crash, and that kind of killed games until Super Mario came out, and that sort of rekindled the whole industry. So
yeah, I would say that would be mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Solid answers all, I would say.
I'm seeing
in our chat.
Yeah.
As we're getting a Earthbound, the US version of Earthbound.
I have a complete box copy of it.
Right.
Obviously not new because I played it.
Right.
Even back in the day.
But I
still have it.
That wasn't sealed, right? If I remember correctly,
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, because it came in that
not
large...
even a sticker over.
Yeah,
the opening.
Because that came with the Nintendo Player's Guide.
That's
so
right.
It was in a bigger, kind of heavier cardboard box.
With the Player's Guide.
Yep. Yeah, inside had the Player's Guide, and then the standard Super Nintendo box, right?
No.
Was it just the cart kind of loose in there? It didn't have a... Okay, okay.
No standard box.
Okay.
I still have that box somewhere.
Nice.
It's in storage right now.
I wonder... It's probably still at my parents' house. Hopefully they didn't
get rid of it, because even the box is worth something.
Oh, I know, right?
Yeah.
I have so much stuff back at my parents' house that's probably worth a small fortune, but probably just damaged.
When I moved from San Francisco to Texas,
when
I moved from San Francisco to Houston, I threw away a lot of shit that I wish I hadn't thrown away. Like magazines and
friendships.
There you go. And I wish I hadn't thrown some of that stuff away.
You got rid of a bunch of your magazines, though?
I did, yeah. I think the first Famitsu that I ever bought.
Oh, no!
Was one of the things I got rid of, yeah.
But magazines, they're so heavy.
They're so heavy to move.
Yeah.
I had so many of them, too. Yeah, I used to have multiple copies of a lot of the EGMs that we wrote.
Oh, yeah.
Now I only have one.
I used to have a few copies of each, too, and I don't anymore, and I regret that big time.
Yeah. Remember the heartbreak when we found out when we moved from Chicago to...
The back issues?
Yeah, we had back at the Chicago office in Oak Brook, we had a room, a large...
Huge room.
It was like, it was a warehouse size room that was just packs and just all of our back issues from all the Ziff Davis magazines.
Yep.
Dating back to like EGM 1. Yeah.
The very first.
Yeah. And just, obviously some of those older issues, I think they'd maintained like maybe 5 or 10 of them.
Yeah.
Back there. But then obviously, the more recent issues, there would be boxes of them.
Because there was a service that you could buy back issues.
Yeah.
Right. That is right. Yeah.
No.
But we had this massive storage room just filled with every magazine Ziff Davis put out from that game group. And then we found out after we moved that they just took it all and tossed it in the dumpster.
Yep.
Just whoever was I don't know who made that decision, but they certainly never reached out
it
to
would have
any
cost
of.
a fortune to ship them anywhere. But
Oh, of course,
That's true.
But yeah, I mean, and I thought that anyway, many times, even before knowing that had happened. Like, I regret when we moved that I didn't grab one of each.
I know, right?
Yeah, totally.
Because I remember discovering that room because, having to work late at the office, and I was one of the people who always stuck around.
Yeah.
And even probably when I didn't need to work late. And I think I knew that room was there, but I had never gone in. And sort of discovering it was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I remember because I think they stopped doing it for a while, but EGM used to run like a review archive page.
Yeah.
And then I think they stopped, or because there was no real database.
Yeah.
And that was what I sort of took it on. It's like, well, we have every single issue here. And I ended up, for some stupid reason, deciding that I wanted to stay late each night and go through every issue of EGM and archive the games and the scores and who gave them, which that is up there now. Jeremy Parrish actually shared a version of that on Google Drive recently. It only goes to the point that I left the magazine because I think Shane Bettenhausen had it, but I don't believe he ever updated it.
Okay.
So, yep.
Oh man.
3,641 entries.
Yikes.
You did that.
I did that.
You did that. Send me the link to that. My goodness.
All right. Let's finish up with this one. Accurately, as I finally watched, who has two questions. One, name one of the first gaming consoles or computers you played games on. And two, pick a game from that system that you'd like to see a remake of that hasn't been done already. I would pick the C64 and Mail Order Monsters.
Solid choice.
For me, obviously, it is the Odyssey 2 and Pickaxe Pete.
Wow, that was really quick.
I mean, the Odyssey 2, that was the first video game system that my family had. Yeah. And that was post-crash. We bought that. So the games were like $5 each at the Magnavox store.
Oh, jeez.
They were super cheap. And we got the Odyssey 2 voice synthesizer thing as well. But we got all that stuff cheap because the market crashed and everything was like $5. They wanted to get rid of all of it. And Pickaxe Pete was my favorite game on there. It's sort of like a Donkey Kong clone-ish. It's sort of like a vertical tower platformer. So, yeah.
Finn just came down to show off that he finished playing Pokemon Sword on his.
Nice.
Because he got his own Switch for Christmas.
So
he started a new game because kids can do that. Kids can play through a game. A long game, and
they can. You're right.
Started over again.
So they call a callback. My oldest has actually shown some interest in trying a Pokemon game. She's the one who's crazy about Animal Crossing.
Okay,
she's like, I might be interested in doing a Pokemon run. So,
well, you know what? Buy a bunch of them.
I was hoping I could use some of my contacts there to get me a free.
I have recommendations. The recommendations are all of them.
All of them?
There's your contact.
Boom.
I'm going to give her the first Game Boy. I'm going to give her red and say, start here. To go back to the actual question, I believe the first game system that I played anything on was on Atari 2600.
Yeah.
We had one. I still, to this day, a question I wish I had asked my father is why we had a 2600, because he wasn't into video games. I asked my mom that recently, and she said that it was just something that he and his brother, Greg, who was 10 years younger than him, so would have been a teenager at the time, which made more sense to me that they'd bought it together. So, because he seemed much more the kind of guy that would have been into that, and everybody was into the Atari at the time.
Oh yeah,
obviously.
It's like the Wii was. Like my parents had a Wii.
It was ubiquitous, right?
No interest in video games whatsoever.
Yeah, so we had one. I don't know what I would say I want to see a remake of. There was a lot of great games on there, but most of the stuff that I liked on there were just ports of arcade games.
Right.
You know, so I don't know. I love Dodge 'em. I was really a big fan of that game, which was you know, a knockoff of a Sega arcade game, which was a knockoff of another company's arcade game.
Oh, was it really?
Like it was. Oh, they were all clones, right?
Right.
Dodge 'em was the clone that was on the 2600. So, but I loved that game.
Yeah. Yeah. The first game system that I played on was the 2600 as well. And you know what? Maybe River Raid.
Oh,
we almost got
it.
an updated River Raid on the Super Nintendo back in the
true.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah. After that Pitfall. Was it? What was it? Was it just called
Mayan
Pitfall? The Mayan Adventure? Yeah.
The Mayan Adventure. That was not a good game.
No,
it was a good looking game.
It looked great. The animation was beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, after that came out, and I guess it sold pretty well because I was at a CES and at the Activision booth, they were showing off Super Nintendo versions of River Raid and Kaboom.
Yeah.
And maybe one other game.
Loved Kaboom. You know what?
What's
Activision games are so great on the 2600.
Activision
Oh my God,
games,
they made amazing games.
Yeah, they really
That's
did.
true.
Because I was just sitting here thinking too, another one that came to mind was Sky Jinx.
Oh yeah,
I loved Sky Jinx.
that's kind of like the isometric one, right?
Yeah, it was just slalom.
Yeah.
But it just it was the way they did it. They'd figured out a way to make it. The plane had a shadow. That really could tell you, like, yeah, it was just great.
Yeah.
I don't know how else to describe it. It was just great.
Activision, those programmers understood that system and
Oh my God,
knew how to make it look nice.
They were a level above what you were playing on the
Absolutely.
thing before that.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd like a new version of River Raid because that was a fantastic game. And another one I really liked was Cosmic Arc from
I remember Cosmic Arc.
That was in it. Was it iMagic or Imagic?
I think that was iMagic. Yeah. iMagic, yeah.
It was, yeah, so they're iMagic, yeah. They did some were those people who were
they were
with
ex-Atari
Activision?
people as well, I believe. Yeah,
okay.
well, I know Rob Fulop went there.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
Because that's where he did
Did he do Demon Attack?
Demon Attack. That's right. That
Yeah.
was his game, yes.
Demon
Which was
Attack
also fantastic.
So I mean that was kind of a Space Invaders kind
Yeah,
of
just much
clone.
faster, more fast and frenetic than Space Invaders.
And the you know the aliens would kind of swoop around, right? It was not just like the static left right movement, but that was a great game. But yeah, Cosmic Arc was one of my favorites back then too.
So is Cosmic Arc describe? I know I've played it. I'm trying to remember what it was like.
That was the one where there were two phases. There was one phase where you're in this the big spaceship and it's in the center of the screen, and there are 4 asteroids that can come at you from the cardinal directions.
Right. Yes.
And you had to shoot them before the asteroids hit your ship. And then after doing that for a little bit, you would go down to the planet's surface, and your big mothership would spit out a little smaller craft, and there'd be these little aliens running around on the planet's surface, and you had to go and use a tractor beam to rescue them and then get them back to your ship while you were being attacked and stuff like that. So
I remember that game. I think that game's on the Activision anthology. There's a bunch of iMagic games on the Activision anthology that came out on the PS2.
Yeah. But yeah, that was a fun game. So
cool.
There you go.
There we go.
There you go.
I guess that's a good place to stop. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Alrighty, and that is our show for this week. Thank you very much for listening. If you have a question for us or would like to comment on something you heard, you can direct that to @P1Podcast on the Twitters, or you can go to our internet website at player1podcast.com. There you'll find episodes of Generation 16 as they happen.
They're happening.
Still in the process of happening. Yes. You'll find show notes and links to all the things that we talked about. And you will even find a link to our Discord server where you can discuss this episode with us and our other listeners.
If you would like to subscribe to the Player One Podcast, you can do so by visiting player1podcast.com or by loading up your favorite podcast listening app. We're also on Stitcher Radio, Spotify. You can like us on Facebook. You can watch video archives of our show on the youtubes.com/P1 podcast, or you can watch us live most weeks on the YouTubes, the Twitters, the Facebooks, the Twitch.televisions, all those various places where you can watch live video. Follow our Twitter account, which is at P1 Podcast, to find out when we are doing our next live show. Typically, it's Sunday nights at 5:30 specific time. So please join us, won't you? If you'd like what you've heard, and how could you, head over to patreon.com/P1 Podcast. Throw a few shekels our way. Don't tell Greg, but we're saving up to buy him a copy of Time Gal for the Laser Active. It's a secret. We're hoping to have it for him for his birthday. So don't say anything. That's probably not true. We're not that generous.
But honestly, be true.
No.
But friends, your Patreon dollars do, of course, help support the show, keep us streaming, all that stuff every week. And you know what? If you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier,
oh, cheap.
That is cheap, much cheaper. How many Patreon $5 subscriptions can you get for one copy of Time Gal? There's a little math for you, Greg. Figure that out. There it is. If you are a Patreon friend of the $5 tier, you gain access to a special weekly bonus episode that we record right after this one. We play games, crack-wise, having fun doing all the stuff we can't do on the regular show. CJ, do we have a game for this week?
We sure do, Phil. It is an EGM review quiz from the January 1997 issue.
Ooh, 97.
97.
Okay, January 97. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that in the floating head period of EGM?
No, not the floating head period. This is the first couple months of Shu, Crispin, Sean Smith.
Okay.
I believe both you and I were here for this issue.
We were kind of probably just arrived.
Fresh-faced youngsters.
Knocking around. Yeah.
Wait, what is January you said?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they brought me in for like the holiday issues and stuff like that. So
yep, same.
That would track. So
that tracks, yeah.
Well, this should be exciting then. So please join us for that. Tell you what, if you have a couple bucks left over, head over to patreon.com/generation16 to help support Greg Stewart's outstanding, and it is outstanding, web series about North America's favorite runner-up, the Sega Genesis.
Thank you, Phil. And if you are a patron of the $5 per episode variety,
also cheap,
you get access to my weekly vlog called The Weekly Commute, which I actually have not recorded yet today, but I should do that after we do this show, where I play games, crack wise, do all the things I can't do on Generation 16. And yeah, so please support the show. Maybe I could buy a copy of Time Gal for the Laser Active.
See?
To cover for the show.
It's for work.
Yeah. It is for work.
It's for the show. Maybe, you know what? Maybe you'll find a generous Laser Active collector out there who happens to have an extra copy of Time Gal, Greg.
Yeah, Steven doesn't have an extra one.
Ask him, maybe he'll sell you one of his 20 copies of Blue Chicago Blues.
I wish.
Yeah.
That's another expensive one.
I know. I think he has 2 copies of it, though.
He probably does.
I think he does. I guess that's it, right?
That is it.
That's it. CJ.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Phil.
Of course. Gregory.
Yo.
Thank you as well.
Thank you, Philip.
Well, thank you for the thank you. And of course, thank you. You, specifically you, the person hearing this right now. And you're probably thinking, well, you can't be talking about me, but I am. I am talking about you, Michael.
I see Billy and Joey and Bobby.
That's going to freak someone out. Thank you very much for listening. We do appreciate it. We love each and every single one of you. Please, again, as always, keep safe. Take care of yourself, your family, your loved ones, your friends. Get shots. Wear masks. Get your boosters if you can. Do all that stuff. And gosh, we hope to see you next week. Toodaloodles.
Bye-bye.
My little noodles.
Bye-bye.